Welcome back to the Tell All Bench, Season 2, Episode 10. Hello, Miss Courtney. How are you?
I am fired up, Jen.
Oh, boy. Fired up for the next topic. Here we go. We're going to dive right in. It's a continuation a little bit on this little mini series of weddings. This one's going to be about the money side of weddings. You ready?
Boy, oh boy.
You ready for it?
I guess.
Okay, so we're going to break it down. First of all, costs. Tell me what the average range that you think is for weddings.
Are we talking like in Wisconsin or just like in general?
Yeah, national. Yeah, in general.
National?
Like in general.
I would say 30 to 80,000.
Yeah, you're a little high on that. Like the national average is like 36,000, right? It's looking from 18 to 54K.
Oh wow.
So I was like, oh snap, that's way more than it was back in my day. So yeah, we're going to kind of ground there and then kind of break it down. So one of the things is like who pays and who decides. Kind of there's this thing out there traditionally, like if I pay, then I'm making the decisions.
Yeah.
Do you think that's at play today?
I feel like yes and no. But also it used to be a thing. I feel like you skipped this part where the bride's parents pay for the whole thing, right?
Yeah, that traditionally was the path that the bride's parents paid, and therefore they had influence and.
But then now I feel like it's more, at least somewhat more of a, people are trying to do like a even-ish split between people. So like they'll do the groom, the bride, and then the bride and groom all pay. Like the parents of each and then the bride and groom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when I was looking this up, it's like tradition, the bride's parents paid, had the influence. It was a social statement, and the bride kind of carried all the emotional and logistic load. And then traditionally, it was a lot more church wedding versus, now more towards the officiant thing, right? And also the now aspect of it is more self-funded with contributions coming from the groom's parents, the bride's parents, the groom and bride themselves, right?
Yeah.
And the budget transparency conversations early. That's like a key thing.
And it's a horrible, I hate it. Like when we had to do it, it was just like annoying because it was like, okay, like for me in my relationship, I feel like I'm the one that is like pretty more like vocal, I would say. So then it was like, do I ask? But then I kept being like, dude, you have to ask your own parents, like, or we could just assume they're not helping us, like, kind of thing. But even with my parents, it just kept being like a really like, it's a tough conversation to have because you're like, I know that you don't make like $1 million, but also, do you want to help? Do you not want to help? Like, what's the vibe?
That is
and also just like making sure that they know you appreciate it because obviously you do, but yeah, I don't know.
That's like the number one thing a newly engaged couple hates to have is the budget convo.
Yeah, it's really, 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 really hard.
I think it's very helpful when coming prepared to it, like doing the thoughts around it. We could do this, we could do that. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what the costs are, because we started this off on the average cost. I don't think weddings cost nearly that when your parents were getting married. So they are going to have sticker shock going, oh my God, that's a down payment on a home.
Well, and that's why I specifically had my parents tag along to just the venue tours because I was like, I think that the venue itself is probably the amount they spent on their entire wedding. And that's why I was like, I think you guys should come and like get a feel for it and just like have the conversations with me because I'm like, this is what it is. If we want to have this wedding and you want to invite your friends and like every little thing adds up. So it's like, if you want this, then I need help or whatever, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's the dreaded first thing I've discovered. And I think it's dreaded on both sides, right? Um,
Yeah.
just being, completely transparent because it's like, well, how do you navigate this? And who's coming to the wedding? So if it's more about your guests, do you guys bear the cost? Or if it's more about, the family or the parents' friends, do they bear more of those costs, right? I think that's the conversation that kind of needs to be had. Who's this wedding for? You know?
Because then I also think too that part of the conversation, at least I wouldn't say like me specific, but I would say like what I've heard from like clients and my friends and whatever. It also comes down to like who makes the most sometimes. At least that's what I've heard of like, oh well, his parents make so much. I don't understand why they're not helping us out more. Like I've heard that opinion as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I like hear like I agree or not agree. It's just that I think also comes into a role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a yucky topic, and I think it's interesting because wow, you're starting right in on bringing the families together, potentially on a yucky topic, right? I mean, that's one thing
Yeah.
we've talked about. Like, thank God you and I got along, up to the engagement, and then that's the next big ringer to tackle is the finances, right? That's a
Yeah.
whew. And then, for some shortly behind that, it's the church wedding versus officiant, right? It's a lot there, not just planning, but a lot of emotion behind this is what I want my wedding to look like. Y'all had your wedding. This is what I want my wedding to look like without
Yeah.
feeling like a bridezilla. Is that the term they're calling it? Right?
Yeah. And I also think it's a conversation to have too of like if the parents didn't have their wedding that they like dreamed of for whatever circumstances, I think that a lot of times like they can accidentally put that pressure on their kids to then have the wedding that they wish they had.
Mm-hmm.
So I also understand like that perspective, but I also understand that like being on the receiving end of that, and it's like really kind of frustrating, and a lot of deep breaths have to be happening.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, yeah, like you feel for them in a way, and you also appreciate the fact that they are paying, and but their influence sometimes can be a little bit here's like good, but here's the bad, like whatever.
Yep. It's a hot mess.
No, it really is.
It's a hot mess, and especially I think, like you said, the overall cost of it being 36,000. Right? It's a hot mess. Let's talk
What
about.
did
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask, what was your situation when you got married
Did
30
it
years ago or whatever?
did it all ourselves. Took that control, that influence, that pressure
Did you
completely.
have a church ceremony?
Yeah. The first one had a church ceremony, and on the second
I know the
one,
second you did not.
yeah, the second one was just very intimate. And I can just tell you the pressure. Just having a smaller one was just so much more enjoyable because the day goes by really, really fast. But either case,
Yeah.
we took it on ourselves, which just eliminated that question altogether. It's like we're paying for what we want. So, um, okay. The thing that I want to talk about in the expenses, though, is obviously there's inflation and some of these ceremonies have just gotten to be such a show, right? So kind of move those aside and go, what new expenses, have been brought in that the previous generation didn't have? For example,
Oh, I can guess.
yeah, give me a guess.
I would say like the welcome party slash welcome gifts.
What the hell's
Is that
that?
on there?
What the hell's that?
Oh, you haven't heard of that?
No.
So now a lot of people, because everybody's like moves different places and it's not like everybody just stays in their hometown allegedly. Now people, instead of having just So they'll have their rehearsal dinner, but then they'll also have a welcome party where the entire wedding guest list is invited the night before as well. So they're not only having a party then, but they're also having their wedding, and then they'll have a breakfast the day after.
Yeah, okay. That to me is like over the top.
Yes, thank you.
Over the top for
Like I just know, like there's just no chance in my freaking brain that I could ever afford that.
and why okay. So here's where I was thinking. Wedding planners. That wasn't a thing in my,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's a much more prevalent thing in your generation.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I also am glad. I'm like glad that we definitely didn't do that because that would be a lot of extra money. But I understand why people do it.
Mm-hmm. Here's another one, the videography.
Yep.
That
I'm not doing that either.
that was not a thing. Um,
That's basically like doubling your photography cost.
mm-hmm. Here's another thing that you had mentioned, like where like bridesmaids go broke
Yeah.
because of the destination bachelorette party.
Girl. I just like, there's just no chance in my freaking brain that I could ever like have people pay for that. And then like, I don't even know. I'm like, why don't you just save that money for either the wedding or like the honeymoon? Like, don't you want to like, whatever? I don't know. But yeah, people will be like, yeah, we're going to what's it called, like Disney, or we're going to Nashville or whatever, and I'm like, that's insane behavior.
Well, they're definitely whooping it up. So if you have this destination bachelorette party, then you have a bridal shower, then you have a what you called that welcome party, and then the morning after party. Like that is just one thing after another that didn't exist generations ago, right? Like
Yeah,
what's this event about? The party or celebrating, the couple and the commitment, right? The journey versus the day is a phrase that I keep bumping into. Like, is this just a day? This is, you have the rest of your life for all these celebrations and you're cramming them all into one day.
true.
I just, some little things that I'm observing, like, don't laugh, but the hair and the makeup outfits.
Yeah.
Right? Like you leaned over to me in yoga and said, ask me.
Hey, now don't be spoiling my surprises.
But this is traditional stuff that brides.
No, yeah, it is.
But I didn't know about it, right? What did you leaned over and you asked me, what do you remember that?
I basically was like, are you okay with pants and a t-shirt style like pajamas, or do you want, because basically I said this is what I'm wearing, this is what my bridesmaids are gonna do, and then I was thinking for you and my mom, because you and my mom are gonna match.
And what was my reaction?
You were like, what?
I said
I don't know, you were basically just like, what the hell?
I said something to the line of, why do I need matching pajamas? We're not in the same hotel suite.
No, and then I was
Right?
like, girl, we're getting ready together.
And then you said that, and I laughed out loud because I was just
Yeah.
like, oh my God, what the hell is this? Now we got all matching our makeup and jammies.
Whatever, that's normal.
It's normal for your generation. For this one, I'm like, you kidding me, right? I mean, that's not what I grew up with.
You're so mean.
I thought that was funny, right? Like, I damn near died laughing right in the middle of the yoga studio because I'm like, oh my God, that is not how it used to go. We just got our hair and makeup done, and that was good enough. No matchies.
That's so funny. Like, I don't know who started that trend. And you know what's funny? I wasn't gonna do it, but then I was like Mallory made a good point to me, and she basically, which Mallory, if you're listening to this, zip your mouth, okay? But she made a good point that like it is like for her old like her other best friend's wedding or whatever, like she still wears those pajamas, so like it's a fun reminder gift kind of thing. And the other thing is like people would rather that than like a shirt that says bridesmaids, because that was a trend for a while too.
Mm-hmm.
Where like you would literally get a shirt that says bridesmaid on it, and it's like, okay, but like who's wearing that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm being a hater now. I don't know. I'm not trying to be a hater.
Anyways, it's one of those additive costs to the wedding that I just think just additive. It just keeps adding, right?
Yeah.
To the already, expensive lift. But anyways, we're gonna wrap this up with a little kind of thing of then versus now. I have like 7 categories and you
Oh gosh.
you answer, is it then versus now? Okay.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm born ready, you know.
I might not even ask the questions right. Okay. So, um yeah, okay. So, let's say payment. Um
Okay.
Parents or couple? Which is then, which is now? Parents, then?
Parents were then, couple is now.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay.
Okay.
Location, church hall and or venues. Which one's
Well,
then?
venue is for sure now.
And church and the halls were then. Yep. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Duration of said event, 1 day or multi-event weekend?
1 day was before, multi is now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here's one. Dessert, cake versus
Then
I didn't even get to spit it
I
out.
didn't need you to.
The now. Okay, smarty pants. What is the now? If cake was then, what's the now?
Now is like a dessert variety.
Yeah, dessert table
Yeah.
and late nights. I like the dessert table thing. But do they still do like a that word. A little
Oh, what?
a symbolic cake?
Oh, like a cake cutter thing?
Yeah.
I think so. Like, I think that's like pretty usual to still do cake cutting.
Okay.
I think.
Now I'm getting hungry for cake. Okay, here's another one. Portraits is the category. Formal versus editorial.
No. Oh, no, you don't even need to finish that. Portraits are old, editorials new.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you still take all these little formal pictures.
Yeah, but like it's like a ding 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 done. And then it's like all like the more like casual, like what's the vibes happening or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do. I do. I think it's a blend, right? Because I still see all of these pictures of the bride with her family, the bride and groom with his family, right? The still orchestrated pictures. We want this group now, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So to me, it's a blended thing, but a little bit more quicker with the social content. Bling, bling, bling. Okay. Communication, all things wedding. Printed versus digital and website.
No. Yeah, websites now.
But what has remained? Printed.
Invites,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I found.
like both save the dates and formal invites, but then there's like a QR code or a website.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I thought it was interesting that the printed invites still sustained throughout. Okay. And then here's another one. Final one. Gifts. Registry versus cash funds.
Cash is now.
Yeah. Is that a blend one too?
I would say, yeah. I think the biggest thing is like people don't need registries because, like, again, Brett and I example, like we already live together. So basically, like the registry for us is just going to be like stuff that we would be upgrading because we already have everything.
Mm.
So like I would like a dish set because right now ours is just like my parents' hand-me-downs, which works perfectly fine. We don't need anything. But if we wouldn't have bought a house, we were not planning on doing a registry at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a definitive, well, right there. You brought out an interesting point. I think back in our generations, it was very rare people lived together. I think we talked about that in season 1, living together before getting married. You know, it wasn't very common back in ours, so that's why that registry was probably important because we needed all this stuff for our house. Where now, like, no, most are living together or, like you said, bought a house, already have it, so it'd just be upgrades. But, well, anything to add on this little mini episodes regarding weddings and costs?
I would just say my advice as somebody going through this process right now would be to make sure that you are saving money each month for it if you want a wedding. But again, like I said in the last episode, maybe just don't have one. I'm just kidding. I definitely recommend doing like whatever you think that you would regret not doing because hopefully you only have one wedding.
So there you have it. We'll do a wrap on the whole monetary aspect of weddings, and stay tuned for the next juicy
Wait, I'm
topic. Oh,
excited to figure out what the next one is.
stay tuned.